Good morning, everybody. This is Paul Romero with the Sell a House Wholesale Real Estate Training number 70 today on January 14th, 2015. And look at that. Blink of an eye, half of the first month of 2015, bam, gone, just like that. Got a deal yet? Done a deal yet? Well, we've already cashed one check and we have two contracts. So how you guys doing out there? And that kind of takes me into the subject matter of today's hangout. First of all, which is really kind of, you know, wholesaler to wholesaler is kind of where I think I want to take this today. And if you're seeing this for the first time, I want to welcome you. For anybody who's live watching this on Google Hangouts right now, welcome. And for all of our current noodlers who are here today for another piece of education. Thanks for being back and thanks for joining us again. I'm not quite sure why John has not joined in yet. Apparently, for some reason, the multiple invites that I have sent must not be going through, but he'll be here shortly, I would imagine. Anyway, with that, today, what I want to talk about, yesterday, the last 2 days, we talked about, some very good tactics for selling deals once you get something under contract. And we went through some very simple, easy, cheap, or free even ways to put out a property and to get some exposure to your property and to, get people making calls and calling you, and how to also do some ghosting, some ghost advertising for just building a buyer's list in a matter of free, cheap, and easy ways to do so. And like I said, today, I was thinking I would unless John's got another idea on his schedule, I was thinking we might kind of fall back to the idea of doing a little bit of a comparison today of the difference between what these hangouts are titled Wholesale Real Estate Training. That's mostly because that's what everybody out there understands as what we're doing, so that if you see that, if that's something of interest to you, it's going to attract you to come in here. But today I kind of want to give a little bit of information, a little bit of explaining the difference between what we do here at sellahousearizona.com and what wholesaling is in the traditional sense, and that is kind of the difference between noodling and wholesaling. John, good morning. What do you think?
Good morning, Paul. I think that's a great direction to take the call this morning, or the hangout. It's not a call. But yeah, I just want to say welcome everybody who's joining us here today. And look at that. We're halfway through the week. We're halfway through the month already. It's crazy. And as Paul said, have you done any deals yet? Are you having success in your wholesale business? Are you new? Are you someone who's been doing this business for years and has hit a wall all of a sudden because you haven't changed your strategies? I just ran into a guy yesterday at a group that me and Paul go to every Tuesday morning, and he's been wholesaling for a little bit longer actually than Paul and I have had, and he's real curious and asking a lot of questions about what it is that we're doing, because he's not had a deal in some time and he doesn't know why. And that's because he's using old tired methods. And right here with what we're doing in the Phoenix market, what we're building a team to do, and what the team we're building is doing, is what the new face of wholesaling is going to look like. We've unlocked the new niche. The new way of doing wholesaling is actually probably the old way. I'll leave it at that. And a lot of those tired old methods that you're going to learn about on most programs that you will purchase on the internet are rehashing what worked 3 years ago, but what is not working in today's market, especially if you don't have a large marketing budget. So what me and Paul can show you are guerrilla tactics on how to build your business and find deals with little to no money, but also smart ways to use your marketing dollars when you don't have a lot to use. So with that being said, welcome to the Hangout, and I'm going to throw it back to Paul to kind of take us where he wants to go. I like the direction and where you're pointing things today, Paul.
Well, I think that you've just brought up the first key element right there, and that's the marketing budget in and of itself. The the traditional wholesaling methods, the traditional wholesaling systems, the traditional wholesaling ways to, quote, attract deals to you are quite costly in today's world because the rate of return, the rate of response has diminished dramatically over the past few years. So whereas, like John says, approximately 3, 4 years ago, you could spend a small amount of money on some of that traditional marketing, those traditional marketing methods, and you could see some results and acquire a deal here and there, even with just a little bit, a small marketing cost. Whereas today, that small marketing cost is now competing against people who have big budgets. You got to consider that. There's some people out there that, were very successful 3, 4 years ago that have built themselves up to a position where they have a lot of money to put towards marketing, and they're putting out large campaigns, and they're overshadowing, what you have to put into this. So your one little generic piece that maybe 10 other people are sending out the exact same thing goes out there in front of the big fish, and you're not even seen. They're not even looking at you. They're not even considering you, and that's why people like John talk about the guy who is continually doing that same old thing without going out there and being creative and looking at what's going on in the market and thinking in new ways and switching his methods around a little bit. His ship is sinking fast, and the whole thing is there's just so much competition in the same thing that's out there, so that if you're not able to put a huge marketing budget out there, I think at one point in time a few years ago, the average cost per deal was like $1,200. You had to spend about $1,200 in marketing to get a deal. I would guess today that's probably at least double. If you're going to get a deal using the traditional methods, you probably got to put out about $2,500 just to land a deal. And the worst part about that now is the spreads that you're pulling off of these deals, because there's so much competition. You're lucky to make $3,000 to $7,000 off that deal, so you're not making squat either. That's the difficult thing. So it's really even harder. You get a deal, great, this is awesome. I got a deal sold, great, this is awesome. Wow, what did it cost me to get that deal? What did I really make? That's not so great. So I mean, there's a big difference there. What we're doing, like John says, actually kind of is old school, reborn in a way. Now that you mentioned that, because because I mean there wasn't methods, technologies and things like that of the world today, just even 20 years ago, and people really probably had to do what we're doing in order to be successful. So that's kind of funny that you said that.
Yeah, we're basically taking an old concept and using it in our business. I went to a seminar about maybe 3 years ago at this point with a fantastic woman out of Florida. She's called the Rehab Queen, or that's what she calls herself. Great seminar. So I'm not poo-pooing anything that she's done. She helped Paul and I quite a bit just with some tips and little tricks and things that we use to tweak our mail marketing campaign. But, I even threw out there to her what it is that we thought about doing. And she said, well, no, that's a waste of time. That's, you need to just continue with your direct mail and this and that and your attraction marketing. And it wasn't until about 2 years later where me and Paul went to another group hangout where one of the presenters on stage, a guy from a local company here, Bakerson, kind of alluded to what they had been doing to attract deals, and all these pieces just started to fall into place about, all right, I thought about doing it this way years ago. talk to one of these top people that has been crushing it for years in the market, has seminars. She's really popular. She trained Pete the Ninja, which is the guy who runs Preston Ely's business. So, I mean, it's not like she doesn't know what she's talking about. But you know, advanced 3 years from that seminar and what she was teaching us to do back then doesn't work so good now. And as Paul said, those direct mail marketing campaigns, you can expect a diminished return on the amount of people that are going to actually call you from direct mail marketing. It's about 2 to 3%. Do you understand you probably got to make almost 20 offers before you land a deal? That means if you send out 1,000 letters, you're going to get about 20 to 30 phone calls, and that might be one deal. And depending on what you're marketing to, it could only, in this market anyways, a $3,000 to $7,000 spread. So what we're doing is actually an old school way. You know, I would love to tell you right now what exactly it is we're doing, but you've got to email us at propertynoodles@gmail.com, join the team, and I'll tell you exactly what we're doing. You know, this information is priceless, and we're not giving it out for free, because for two reasons. One, we want committed people to join our team and learn our way of doing it, and there's no cost to you. That's the amazing part right now. And number two is because you can learn a lot of tips and tricks and things from Paul and I coming to these hangouts, but we're not going to give away our golden goose. So, but just know, like, a lot of those old seminars and a lot of those old ways aren't working anymore, and you've got to stay up on the way things are moving in this market. And I think going back to some old school ways and some guerrilla tactics and some, you know, what actually cheaper ways of marketing is actually more effective unless you've got a ginormous budget, as Paul said, like the We Buy Ugly Houses that can buy billboards and advertising on bus stops. And when they put out a mail marketing campaign, it goes out to 10,000 people. Can you afford 10,000 mail pieces at about $1 a piece? Most people can't, but there is ways to get started.
Yep, exactly. You know, and going back to the Golden Goose there, I just want to say that in looking at the market, and not just looking at the market where it is today and where it's going, looking at the market where it was and where it's coming from, okay? Our little Golden Goose here, this niche that we have, that we're digging ourselves into, is prime right now for the next 3 years. I mean, it's always going to be there, of course, but right now it is massive, and it's going to continue to be that way for the next 3 years. So if you really want to get in on, you know, the early stages of, and in fact, I mean, we're actually stumbling upon this late. It's actually been prime for a couple of years already. It's too bad that we didn't act upon this when we first found it, and you know, we'd be huge right now already, but still, we still have 3 good, solid, heavy, hardcore years of this in front of us, and like I said, it's always going to be there. And being the fact that it's unknown right now, I mean, who knows how saturated or what it's going to be down the road? Will it be just another, you know, wholesaler to wholesaler system? I don't know, but for right now, it's monstrous, and this is basically a ground floor opportunity for you to get in on, you know, the latest, greatest, the newest, the hottest, not the old, the stale, the stinky, and the nasty.
You know what?
With that, that's all you get on the Golden Goose. But I will say that you know, basic difference is this: all wholesaling tactics tell you go out there and generate leads. We don't do that. We do the exact opposite. We go out there and what we call is gather leads. All right. We're getting our own. We're not buying lists. We're not doing a bunch of crap like that. You know, we're not waiting for the phones to ring. You know, we're not putting stuff out and waiting for the phones to ring. We're doing the exact opposite. All right. That's how you make money in this world. Period. Look at everything. What do all the rich people tell you to do? Look what the herd is doing, and do the opposite. Right. Well, that's what we're doing. We're doing the opposite right now. So if you want to be smart, if you want to not follow the herd, if you want to be not headed towards the slaughterhouse of wholesaler to wholesaler, come on board with the Noodler program. Send us an email, and that's all I got today, John. I mean, I think that's enough said.
I was just curious, Paul. Do you have your napkin presentation cards available, real quick?
Yeah.
I want you to pull out the one of the marathon race.
Oh.
And I want you to show that card, and I'm just going to go into a little explanation here. Imagine yourself starting out a marathon when everybody else already jumped out in line in front of you. You see that little card that Paul has? You see that guy running out in front of the pack? Well, that's Paul and me. That's us. What we're doing is giving us a huge head start over those people right there in the middle. Now, those people right there in the middle are having some success, but their businesses are starting to slow down. They're falling behind where me and Paul are running ahead. And there's you right there, overwhelmed, wanting to get into wholesaling, don't know where to start. You're going to be spending a lot of money and time on courses and everything else, and you're going to be discouraged, and you're going to see that pack in the middle out there ahead of you making things happen. And then you want to be that guy out in front of that crowd, running ahead of the crowd, doing what that crowd isn't doing. You want to get a head start. Well, that's what Paul and I can offer you, is a head start. And you know what the amazing thing is? We're not selling a program here. We're inviting you to join a team. Yeah. But we're inviting you to join a team on the ground floor of putting together something huge. So I urge you, anyone that's participating in these hangouts today, to send Paul or I an email at propertynoodlers@gmail.com. And for those of you that have inquired with me lately that I've told you about these hangouts and sending you invites to, if you're watching and what we're talking about today really does entice you, give me a call. Let's sit down and have a meeting, because we've got a couple noodlers now who are doing great. As Paul said, we got another noodler who got a contract last night, in fact, for a condo, which Paul and I are probably going to buy ourselves, because we're starting to build a rental portfolio. But with that being said, we're still looking for at least 2 more people in the Phoenix market to join this team, and 1 person from another market that wants to learn what we're doing, have us come out there and help them build a system like we're doing here. We're looking for 3 people, 2 in the Phoenix market, 1 anywhere in the country, any major market. At least 1 million people have to live in your city in order for us to want to do real estate there. But yeah, with that being said, we're the 2 people we're looking for in Phoenix. I would like, and Paul can let me know if he has a different idea in mind, I would like 1 person that's actually been wholesaling for years and has hit a brick wall. They understand how to negotiate once they get in front of a seller. They can close, they can do the whole 9 yards, but they're just in a slump because they're doing the old, tired system that's no longer working. I want that guy. I want that guy so we can show him what we're doing, and he can take it and run off ahead of the crowd.
Go on.
It would be a great testimonial, and that would be a great person to have on this team as a trainer when we take this thing national and begin to charge people for this education. Number 2, we want somebody that has no experience whatsoever, but has a burning desire to change their life, a burning desire and passion for real estate, and they want to get into wholesaling. They've done some courses and some seminars. They never really got started. They've maybe tried a few things, and they have no idea. They're that person that's not even in the middle of the pack that Paul showed on that card, that person that's just standing there, and everyone else is ahead of them. They don't know what to do. They're discouraged, and they want to get started. We want that person as well, because for 2 reasons. 1, because we want to show the guy with all the experience that what he's doing is poo-poo, and that we can, we can turn shit into champagne. And we also want to take the guy who wants to get started, who has no clue, and show them how to turn shit to champagne. So with that being said, I'm out of material for today. I'm going to throw it back to Paul, and he'll close us on out of here.
Yeah, like John says, we want two team members here in the Phoenix market to take advantage of this ground floor opportunity to get on a team that's going to be going national this year and to place yourself in a position where, hey, you can continue doing the property noodling and the flipping of the houses, but you can also secondarily have a higher level position within this organization to where, who knows, maybe you become some kind of a trainer or whatnot. Maybe you get paid to fly to other cities and get people started. Who knows where this could take you. Okay, this is a great opportunity, not just for becoming a real estate wholesaler. Okay, there's a huge potential opportunity here for you. And if anybody out there is interested in something like that, right there, propertynoodlers@gmail.com, that's where you want to send an email. Secondarily, another city out there in the nation. We want this started somewhere else right now, ground floor, somebody getting the groundwork laid to start building their team in their city using this program and what we're doing here, because I guarantee you what we're doing here, there is plenty of it nationwide. And as I said, right now, the next 3 years, it is explosively monstrous. That is going to be huge. So if you want that opportunity, send us an email right now and come on board. All right? And with that, unless John's got something else to throw in. All right. Well, with that, we're going to cut this off a little bit short today because that's actually all there is to say about it. I mean, that's the difference between property noodling and real estate wholesaling, and that's the difference of a wholesaler and a wholesaler. Okay? So you make the call, you pick the side of the fence you want to be on, you figure out what boat you want to set sail with, and, if it's not with the property noodlers, all I can say is good luck. And I will end this with the Napoleon Hill prayer that goes, "O universe, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom, with which to make better use of the riches given to me at birth, consisting of the power to control and direct my own mind to make educatedly smart decisions and direct to whatever end I might desire." All right, everybody, that's it for today. I hope you enjoy the show, and I hope that you got some insight, some information, and hopefully a light bulb went on. And I'm going to go find some new emails over there in the Property Noodler section, Gmail.
Yep, go from wholesaling to wholesaling and turn your shit into champagne. So let's